We're at the point where it's like, why can't we maintain a low end of like 200K views a day? When we get frustrated, it's like, I think it's time for another meeting with Tim.
Do you guys feel like you can predict like, oh, this video is gonna hit, or are you always surprised when one hits?
Sometimes we know it's like that one's gonna go, no problem. And other times like this one should, and it doesn't.
What do you do when you have a more established YouTube channel like Jonathan here? He's got over 1 million subscribers. He's seen significant growth in the past, but for some reason, momentum just seems to be slowing down on his channel. How do you breathe new life into it again? Welcome here to Video Creators. My name is Tim Schmoyer, and we are all about helping those of you who have established YouTube channels with next step strategies and tactics to reach more people and grow a business around that audience so it will change not only their life, but your life as well. We've been working with Jonathan for several years now on his channel, and I hope that some of the clips from our consultation together will give you new ideas and spark new perspectives on your channel so you can take it to the next level.
Tell me where we're at. The note said you've plateaued. I was looking at your stats, and it looks like they just kind of go all over the place. And so what do you guys feel like is going on there?
When we were talking about doing a meeting, it's like if you had one question to ask Tim, it would be like, why can't we maintain a low end of like 200K views a day? I know it's going to dip in and out, but it feels like the dips are so fast. And even during those times when we're at our ups, we're posting stuff. It's not like we take a break and let off the gas. It's like we still are like doing our thing. Why can't we hold that, I guess?
On a new video in the first week, how many of your views are coming from subscribers versus non-subscribers?
I would say 60-40 non-subs.
And then how about in the first month, what does that end up being? Over time, does that end up being more like 80-20?
53% of the watch time was from subs and then not subs.
Let's look at the video you published, something you published in the past week.
The wooden spoon, now that I'm looking, it's like 70% sub, 30% not sub. That makes sense though. If we're making a spoon and bowl for our cabin, it's like you have to know what the cabin is to know that.
Fits within a context. If you don't know the context, maybe you don't.
Right. When pork belly is more like you could, you don't need to know what the channel is about.
For the hand carving spoon, are you saying like that would be more of a community video and the pork belly is more of a like discoverable video?
I would say so, yeah. Even watch time on pork belly is basically 60-40 subs to non-subs.
So the channel is overall sounds very reliant on subscriber views in order to get traction. If you guys want to make the channel less volatile, we need more non-subscribed views. There's one of two options here. One option is that you've hit full market penetration. There's 1.3 million people who are interested in this thing and you got 1.3 million. So 50-50 non-sub to sub is like about where you're just gonna stay. The other option is to say, well, that might be true, but we don't want to stop there. And so now you have to broaden the target audience and the value proposition so that there's a bigger market. That's risky because you could alienate the 1.3 that you already have, and now you're kind of like off brand a little bit.
So this is a video we did, Grog, Sober Sailors, Rum Rations in the Navy. It's at 740,000 views. We're really happy with it. It's 65% not sub. This is Scrambled Eggs, 2.1 million views. We're over the moon about it. This is 78% non-subs, 21% sub. Yeah. So I feel like when our videos go, in air quotes, viral, it's non-subs.
It's non-subs. And the videos that you're mentioning to me feel like they have broader appeal. I think you mentioned, John, like you don't need to know you or care to like, oh, Sober Sailors, Rum Rations, maybe like I'm bored at home during COVID. Let's watch that.
Yeah. So we did the cabin videos. The first two did okay. They're at like maybe 500,000 right now. Part 3 is at 2.3 million and the audience is 81% not sub, 18% sub. I think the frustrating thing for us is we can't figure out the patterns.
Based on the limited information I have, here's what I think. You guys have a core solid audience of like 80 to 100,000 people. Like doesn't matter what the title and thumbnail is, they're just gonna click and watch. They don't even care. Then you have like this bigger circle, which is like, I like the Townsends. And if they do something interesting, I'll watch. That gets you to like 500,000. How do we expand that a little bit more so that these people don't feel like they're being left behind, but that we are broadening the base so that it's easier for other people to get in? Dude Perfect Sports Channel, for example, one of my favorite channels. I don't even work out as much as I should. You know? So I don't watch it because I'm a sports fan, but they're target audience is broad enough that it could be my kid who's 9 years old enjoys the sports part, and I enjoy the fun that the characters are having together. It's broad enough that they can go to 45, 50 million views, even with non-sports people. You're doing a fantastic job with the story elements. And I liked how you integrated a lot of the how-to type of stuff into the story. I'm never going to build a mud chimney, but I feel like I could now if I wanted to, you know? I like how those two things go together. Is there something else that we can also put in there that would be like a different audience? You got the story, great. You got the how-to stuff, great. There's this other element that I think would broaden it. If it's like the relationships between the characters in the stories that you're telling. So it's not just about like we're trying to get this cabin built, but it's like John's getting a little teed off at this guy because like this is happening. Another example would be like my wife loves the TV show Survivor, but she never wants to be in a survival situation, right? So she is not watching for like, how do I cook this? Or how do I build that? How do I start fire? Like she's not watching for that. It's all about the dynamics between the people and the relationships. I'm not saying you should do that, but that would broaden the audience, and people don't really need to care about 18th century stuff, although they will learn about that in the process.
I love that.
We hide the relationships, right?
Yeah.
And
in between takes, it's like we're like having a great time, and it's like, okay, go, John, and it's, you know, you got to explain this historical thing. I think that's really interesting.
It's a lot more difficult to do because it risks vulnerability. And John, from your perspective, you are placing some of your brand equity into the hands of other people that you don't control, or they could leave and quit, and that could make a mess. So it is more risk involved. But if you do multiple people, then that equity is diluted a little bit. And so if one person leaves, then it's not quite as big of a hit.
We did this thing in this one video, and I think it kind of ties into what you're talking about. We were making something with corn. As I was rolling, I was like, okay, John, do that thing. And he looks into the camera and goes, hey, you have corn on your lens. And I like turn around and look at it. It was a trash cut. Okay. And I wiped the lens off. But as I'm going through the footage and I see it, I'm like, what if I just like music's cuts, throw that in there? Everyone was like loving it.
When people start feeling something, that increases your watch time, your retention, and then they're more likely to come back, more likely to subscribe, come back for more. From a story perspective now, the stakes are no longer like winter's coming and we have to get this done. Now you got to think, well, what's the internal conflicts? Now it's internal stakes. It's just adding, what does that mean for you? Even little hints of that is a step in the right direction. The second thing to do, which I think you guys are already familiar with, broadening the content itself so that it's more about things that people would latch onto, like bacon and eggs and stuff. Connect what's unknown to what's known. And you do the same thing, by the way, you do collaborations. To their audience, you're unknown, but the other creator is known. So that's why collaborations can work really well. It's because you're connecting what's unknown to what's known.
You said connect known to unknown. Put it on the whiteboard.
Yes.
I think trying it is not a bad idea at all.
Right. We might have to bring in modern character, modern guy, and John with the old stuff.
It's cool to like mesh the two together, like old versus new. What about an antagonist? To me is like, I never thought of that. Obviously, we're not going to figure out the bells and whistles of how to do that right now, but that's enough to like jump off on. I've never asked that. Who do you want to watch these videos? My answer is everyone.
You can get there, but you don't start there. There's a tool that I use to figure that out my audience. Once a year, I make a quick little video, so like 45 seconds, just saying, guys, I'm working on new content for you this year, and I want to know exactly how can I help you? How can I serve you? You have to change the language to fit with what your audience is. But give me 3 minutes, take the survey, and I want to give you everything you need this year to really move forward with your channel. And then they come back and they just tell me. Now, the quality of the feedback you get depends on the quality of the questions you ask, because then you'll know like who your core audience is, and then you'll probably have more light bulb moments of this is why they watch us, this is what they're here for. I feel like I know who my target audience is because my team and I do literally hundreds of these sessions every month. We hear these questions, we talk through these questions, but every time I run the survey, I'm always surprised. I'm like, oh, I would not have identified that.
Still don't feel like our average click-through rate is anywhere near what it should be. What is your feeling for average click-through rate right now?
It really depends. I hate that answer, but there's not a good number. If it's like a really small niche channel, they could have click-through rates of like 50% because there's only like 100 people in the world who care about this thing and all 100 people click. Whereas you, as the larger the channel gets and the broader the appeal gets, the lower your click-through rates will become.
John made a spreadsheet for me yesterday, and one of the lowest click-through rate videos was a video that did awesome.
Right.
And what that tells me is the more the algorithm spreads it, the lower your click-through rate will get, even though your watch time is great and you got a bunch of views. It will go down the more people want it out there.
Like Jimmy Fallon, his click-through rate, I don't know, but I'm guessing it's like 0.2% or something.
Yeah.
But it still equals 2.2 of like billions of people. So there's not like a good, I would expect it to go down though as you broaden the audience. You get the idea though. So those are the three main things. If we're going after non-subscribed viewers so that the channel's less volatile and we can maybe stay closer to the 5 to 7 million view monthly range rather than this like 7 million, 2 million. The high level, the things that we're saying here is 1, consider broadening the audience. 2, consider adding a relational or some other component into the stories that would attract a different audience. And then the third one was become less dependent on subscriber views.
After working one-on-one with over 1,000 YouTube creators now, we've seen that there are some definite things that they do that grow their channel faster than what most people do. So we put together a short playlist. You can click right here to get into it. They'll learn some of those secrets and behind-the-scene tactics that those top creators are doing to explode growth on their channel and reach more people than ever before. So click right here, and I will see you guys in that next video.